Hey guys, it's Ryan here with another episode of Blockchain Market. Welcome everyone. For the ones that don't know this channel, it's a channel where I talk about what it says on the screen: independent cryptocurrency research. I basically go through all the sources that I can find. I look at all the videos, all the blog posts. I go through the white papers of one single project and try to compile everything and put it in simple terms, in short and easy to understand videos and blog posts that I put on my website as well, in blockchainmarkets.com, and you can follow them there as well. It's completely independent, as I said, so you can be completely sure that I'm not getting paid to do this. So I can really speak my mind, and I can really say if something doesn't make sense, I'll just put it there. So you get that benefit of non-biased research. Now, today we're going to talk about NEX. What is NEX? And before I start, I forgot to ask you, if you like this channel, if you support research or more on the independent side, subscribe to this channel and you're going to get the next videos that I'm going to be putting online on the next days. Also, share this channel so more people can know about the cryptocurrencies and the blockchain technology. And that's it. So let's dive into what we're going to talk about today, which is NEX. What is NEX? NEX is a platform for complex, decentralized cryptographic trade and payment service creation. Now that sounds a bit difficult, isn't it? Doesn't it? So I just put it. We're going to go through the research I did on the site, on my site, and we're going to try to explain it in a very simple terms. So NEX is basically an exchange, a decentralized exchange that runs on top of NEO blockchain. Now, why is this interesting? I think it's interesting for three reasons. One, it's a decentralized exchange, so the community, the crypto community, has been asking for this for a long time already, and there are a few, but they have some problems that we're going to go through in a second. It's NEO. NEO, we all know that it's grown very much in terms of new apps on the platform, and then we're going to see that it's going to be quite a big ecosystem. It's growing every single week. And this is the first one on NEO. And the third thing is that the team is really has a lot of experience specifically in NEO. The team is part of we'll go through what the team is, but it's basically a group of developers mainly that have been since 2014 working on the open source project of NEO. They built a community called City of Zion, which is very known in the NEO sphere. And so why is this important? Why do we need decentralized exchanges to start with? Is this something that we really need? Or is it just an idea that these guys have? Personally, I think it is something that we need. And the problem is this. The problem is that centralized exchanges have, on the one hand, are very good in terms of transactions, the amount of transactions that they can process, and the speed, basically, it's way better than what a decentralized exchange can do at the moment. So companies like Binance, for example, or KuCoin, or Buybox, or Bittrex, and others are all centralized. Now, when you think, there's one part that doesn't make sense. Now, because of this, you think, okay, so you have all these projects that are running now. They sell their token or their coin. It's a project, all of them or the vast majority blockchain, they're all using blockchain technology, so it's decentralized technology. They sell their coin, and then they go to they do the ICO. They go and they trade their coin in a centralized exchange, which that's a part that doesn't make much sense to me at the moment. Now, as I said, that's because of the speed. Now, so there are some decentralized exchanges at the moment, like OX or Kyber network as well. But the problem is that they don't work as well. They cannot manage so many transactions per second as the centralized exchanges. Now we know also that Binance is planning, and it's part of their roadmap as well, to eventually move to and become a decentralized exchange. Now, having said that, it's a bit more difficult to do it once you already started with something, to really move to a decentralized exchange. So these guys are starting from scratch. And what's interesting for them is that they want to combine the best of two worlds. So they basically want to have the speed of a centralized exchange plus the security of a decentralized exchange. Now, you all remember the case of Mt. Gox, and if you Mt. Gox, sorry, and if you don't know it, it was a big hack where at the time that was one of the biggest exchanges of Bitcoin, and it got hacked, and millions of dollars were stolen. So the people had to just rely on their coins on that platform that got hacked, and then they just lost. And then they still hope that they're gonna get them, but they probably won't ever. So the question is, how do you keep the best of the two worlds, and the speed of the centralized and the security of the decentralized? And that's what NEX is planning to do. Now let's get into the details on how are they actually going to achieve it? How are they actually going to do it? And basically what they're going to do is this. They figure out that the most computationally expensive thing is the matching orders in an exchange. So what they're planning to do is that to take that part, encapsulate that component, the matching, bring it off chain, do the match off chain, and then bring it back on chain, and then distribute the token to the seller and or the buyer. So it sounds a bit difficult, but basically, let's go through the white paper here, and I'll show you how it works. So basically, this is what they're gonna do. So you, as a token buyer, you just go, you place an order. The order is taken off chain. It's encapsulated, as they say. It goes through the whole process here, and then once it's matched, they bring it back on chain. So then you get your money, and then if you are selling, and then the buyer gets his coins. So by doing so, they can keep the speed of a centralized system and the security. So basically what they're doing is just taking this difficult computation out of the chain, match everything out off chain, and then bring it back once it's done. So then there's no congestion on the chain. Now we're going to skip this part, and so these guys are able to basically run three types of orders, which are like limit, market, and margin. And I'm going to show you here on, this is Binance, so you can let's move this to the other side. So you can see here, these guys basically run three types of orders: the limit, the market, and the stop limit. I think they started with a limit and market, and then stop limit, which is a bit more difficult. They added a bit before, but on top of that, I'll make another video on what these things actually mean. But basically, limit, you can put the price that you want to buy or sell specifically here. Market, you have to sell or buy for the price that the market says. You don't set it. And stop limit, I can say, for example, stop if I want to, let's say here, I can say if I want to buy, in this case, blue cell, I want to say at the price of, let's say, yeah, 4176. When it reaches that price, buy it for 4180. So you actually get it. And then it's basically a command that you do. You say to the system, so you can go, for example, at night, you can place an order, and then if that happens during the night, the order will execute. Same when you sell. So you can say, like, if let's say I want to sell a coin, and then if the price goes down like 20%, and I had it the price tonight was at 100, I don't want to lose more than 20%. So if I put here, if the price was let's say 85, then sell for 80. So you're sure that you can sell everything quickly before it keeps on going down. So short explanation on that, but then we're gonna go back. And these guys are planning to do, NEX is planning to do limit orders. So what I explained before is exchange tokens above or below a given price ratio. You set the limit. Market, the exchange tokens for another at the current market price. So the market, you just have to sell at the market price. And the margin is something that Binance doesn't even have. And this is basically borrowing money to buy more or to sell more. Now, I wouldn't really, as an investor, the times I've done it, I've just lost massive amount of money. So I personally don't really like it, but that's for me. You don't have to use it, of course. It's a bit more risky. It's a lot more risky. I usually use limit orders or market if I'm really in a hurry and I want to get into that position. I just go for market, but usually I set the price. So these guys are going to plan to do these 3 types of orders. Now, how the fee structure is, you can check it also in the blog post. So I'm not going to go into much detail of that. It's pretty much the same as the same concept that other exchanges have. Now, the other thing, which is something interesting they mentioned also on the white paper, is that these guys are not planning to stop the whole plan is not just, it doesn't stop with being an exchange. They eventually want to become a decentralized bank. And then let's read what they put on the white paper, which is I just put here. Beyond enabling decentralized exchange, NEX offers a long-term vision of decentralized banking, a smart contract-based funds management service for assets on the blockchain. As with traditional banking, this management service would be designed to provide both fund security and investment opportunities. Very interesting, and it shows that these guys are looking at a bigger picture, not just an exchange. Now, how does the roadmap look like? When I wrote this article, this was I think like a month and a half ago. The roadmap looked like this. Now I just checked the website, and let's go and see the roadmap has been moved. It has been updated. So they basically already finished the token sale. Now we're in the phase of just waiting for them to hit and to be able to buy the token. Now it's we're not there yet. And they're gonna start. The next thing is matching engine testnet release. So they're gonna start matching engine launch on NEO's testnet. And then they're going to start doing cross-chain token support. So then you can also trade Ether and ERC20 tokens, which is very good because then they expand the market. Like the vast majority of all the ICOs today are ERC20 tokens. So then many of those you could eventually buy on or sell on NEO exchange. Now I'm not going to go into much detail on the roadmap, and let's go back to the team. As I said before, the founders have experience in blockchain development because they all founded a NEO community of developers that is called City of Zion. They all research and develop for help developing the open source community of NEO. Now you can go to the website and we can check one by one, but you can do that yourself. You can see that this guy has more than 12 years experience, mainly in Fabio has more than 12 years experience in development. More than Fabian has more than 8 years, I believe 12 years, Ethan, and so on. So these guys are, I think, other 10 or 12 years, Luciano. You can check the LinkedIn. This is a short video, so I'm not going to go through that. You can do that yourself in your part of your research, but this is what I wanted to show you. And why I think NEX is such an interesting project from an investment perspective, because once they launch and once you're able to buy the token, probably at the beginning will be a bit hyped, so then it will reach a point, and then afterwards, depending on how the market is at that moment when they hit the exchange. But I think like in what we have seen many cases after the ICOs, when they start selling their coins, it goes up the first couple of days, 3 days, and then starts going down. And that it's a time that I'm personally planning to get into this. Now, why is it interesting? Because as you see, the two advisors that they have are the CEO and the CTO of OnChain, which is the company behind NEO and Ontology. Of course, these guys have massive insights, and then they can provide with a lot of help to this platform and this coin. So I believe that it's in the best interest also to have a very successful decentralized exchange or also a very successful dApp on their platform, because they have to show that NEO is a very successful platform to run dApps on top. And this is a very good use case for them. So they're gonna try their best to make it very successful, and so you'll be able to benefit from that as an investor, as an early investor. Now the question is like, is it too late to get in the game if I didn't buy it on as part of the ICO? No, it's not too late. I personally decided not to get into the ICO because they made it a bit difficult actually, and I didn't like that everything went through a lottery, and I thought like, no, I couldn't bother. So I thought like, I'll just wait until it hits the market, and then I'll just probably buy there for a good price after a few days, if it's a good price. So now that we're talking about price, let's go to, this was interesting for the ICO, but basically what I want you to focus here, it's in the amount of tokens they're going to be available, which is basically 25 million, and 1 equals $1. At least that was at the time of the ICO. So basically, we know that the total amount of tokens will be 50 million. Now, for 50 million, and then they're gonna raise 50%. So we know that it should be at minimum of 25 million market cap. Now, where does that put them? As you see here, at the time when they did this was 0x. That was the price. Today, let's just update this. The price is 0.54, which makes it like 284 million market cap. Now, when it hits the exchange, let's say it's not 25 million, but let's say it's 50. Let's say it's even more. Let's say it hits 75. Okay, 75. This is 284. That would make it almost 4 times. OX would be basically 4 times higher than what NEX would be, which I think it's a way better project, and eventually would be, I think, much better than OX. And the market, of course, is down now. So you see, you're just looking at to start as with a big upside. We're looking at somewhere at 25% of what one of the main competitors is OX. So you still can grow 3/4 of that, or 3 times if you wish. So what do I think? I think it's a good short-term both and long-term investment for myself. This is not I would like to say also that in every video, what I do is just for educational purposes, and this is no mean financial advice. You should do your own research, of course. As part of my research, what I found is that NEX is solving a real problem. It's part of a growing community, like NEO's community of dApps, and NEO is planning to grow the community, and this is one of the key parts of that ecosystem. An exchange, having an exchange running on top of their technology. So of course it's super important. Now the team, it's also very experienced in that technology. So for what I've seen, it looks very interesting. The problem they're trying to solve, as I said, is a real problem, and the community is really asking for something like this. I don't want to trust, that's something that I don't like at the moment, that I have to just trust that Binance won't get hacked, or that the guys of Binance won't do anything that would harm me, that they won't close down tomorrow and I lose all my tokens or my coins that I have there. So the security is very important, and at the moment other platforms like OX or Kyber Network are just simply not developed enough. They work really not that great, like slow. So I still don't trust them that much, and that's a big thing, trust. So if NEO is behind this, that also brings a lot of trust. So having said that, I would like to close this research saying that I have a positive rate for this project, both in the short term and in the long term. if you have any questions or if you want me to do another video or follow a specific project, just put it in the comments, and then I'll try to do that. And the next videos I'll be doing is about more dApps and or projects that are in the NEO ecosystem. Why? Because NEO's conference in Amsterdam is happening in about 4 days, so I just want to see those projects before I go there. I want to research them, so I'll try to release at least like 3 videos of 3 different projects that are related to the NEO ecosystem, and then afterwards I'll do different projects as well. That's it. That's all for today, guys, and I hope you liked this video. I hope it was helpful to get some independent research for you, so you don't have to go and then read everything, and I'll do that for you. Hit the like if you like this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.